have just seen how important Meetings Africa is to the business tourism ambitions of South Africa. On the sidelines of Meetings Africa, Professor Rob Davidson of the University of Greenwich in London presented a trends report for the industry, and we're very fortunate to have him with us in studio. Professor, thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Right, so the trends report that you have just actually come up with looks at Africa and South Africa in particular. What we've been told is that they have a very short proportion of the global meetings industry. Why is that so?
Indeed, at the moment, Africa as a whole has only 3.1% of all the world's major international association conferences. And these are the big events that everybody wants. At the moment, half of them are held in Europe and the other half are held in places like America, China and so on. So Africa really needs to grow this number from only 3.1%. I think part of the issue is that these big associations, because everyone wants their conferences, the competition out there is very ferocious. America, for example, plows many, many millions of dollars every year into winning these big events. It's a little like winning the Olympics. It's a big deal. There's a lot at stake. So governments the world over are investing in their convention bureaus, the organizations that bid to win these events. America is very successful, Europe as a whole is successful. China has made up its mind that by 2020 it will be the world's #1 destination for conferences. So part of the problem is that simply the competition out there is extremely fierce.
Now, Professor, comparing apples with apples, and a lot of these other countries have particular methods in which they go about getting these events, these mega events, and countries like South Africa, very small maybe, not able to compete. If you compare apples with apples, does South Africa present an important case for the MICE industry internationally?
I'm very encouraged by what I've seen in South Africa this time. It's 6 years since I visited your country, and I must say I'm very impressed by the progress I've seen. If we take something as simple as infrastructure, South Africa slowly but surely is equipping itself with the infrastructure you need for these major conferences. Large convention centres like the East London International Convention Centre, it's only been open 18 months and yet it's had 2 major awards. A highly successful convention centre. More air links as well. I can't emphasise that enough. These big international conferences are attracted to places where the delegates from all over the world can fly in and fly out very easily. There's a job to be done there in South Africa. It's getting better. Looking at the statistics, there are more direct flights every year from places around the world to South African cities, but that needs to improve. Something as simple as the Gautrain here in Johannesburg makes an amazing amount of difference when delegates can get in from the airport to the convention centre, can get back to the airport very quickly. That makes a huge difference. That instantly adds to South Africa's attractiveness.
So that is actually a successful trend that you're looking at, and it's making a dent. But is that enough? Infrastructure, great air links, great fast trains, wonderful buildings, conventions. Is that enough? Do they need to put some money in to sweeten the deal, do you think?
Absolutely. There's 2 things I would say. Money, pure and simple. Governments here, local governments, national government needs to understand the importance of business tourism to the economy. It's bringing visitors every month of the year, and these are the high spending visitors. These are the visitors who are in your best hotels. They're taking the best seats in the airlines. They're spending money in shops, in tourist attractions. I think we should try to get away from this idea that the conference lasts for 3 days, so these people are only in the country for 3 days. Not at all. If people are coming from America, from Europe to South Africa, you can be sure that they're going to stay a little longer. And there I would say there's a job to be done to persuade them to stay a little longer, to tell them what's happening just before, just after the conference. If we let them go straight home after the 3-day conference, that's a loss to South Africa. Let's do everything we can to persuade them to turn that business trip into a holiday, to bring their wives, husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends and children. That makes an amazing amount of difference to the spending that goes on if those people are out there in your shops, in your tourist attractions. The other thing I would say is incredibly important is the human infrastructure. Again, I've seen amazing differences since 6 years ago. These are the people marketing South African cities, marketing South Africa as a whole in this extremely competitive market. You've got more and more people of talent, of energy, and it's their work that's going to make a difference. I've seen them in action and they are very, very impressive.